G'day. Turn to the person beside you and say g'day. And that is how you greet an Australian. Do you want to look like you're really kind of fancy and get some more Australian lingo? Yeah? All right, so if you want to look fancy and you want to know something about someone, you say g'day, mate. So turn to the person and say g'day, mate. Hi. You see, as Australians, we are very proudly descendant from convicts. Did you know that? I'm very proud of that. And so if you think about the whole idea that Australia was really a penal colony, so what happened was if you committed a crime in in the UK, so if you stole some bread or you killed someone, same, they would ship you off to the penal colony of Australia like it was punishment. So, did you know that when you say g'day mate, mate is actually short for inmate? So you're really saying g'day convict? We hear this concept all the time, pay attention. Our parents told us to pay attention, our teachers told us to pay attention, and we tell our kids to pay attention. Even business gurus tell us to pay attention. But I don't think it means what we really think it means. And I'm guilty of this too. You see, what I think it's about is what we're going to explore today. What I want you to think about is how do you not only pay attention, but how do you also get people to pay attention to your business today? If that sounds fabulous to you, say fabulous. But I do know that some of you are paying attention to a few things, so let me answer some questions in your mind. I am 4'10" and a half. I also am very aware that I sound like I'm 5. Are you okay with that? Paying attention is a skill that everyone can develop. I was reminded of this. Interestingly, it's often kids who teach us how to pay attention the most. Would anyone agree with that? And sometimes it's the people that we expect the least from that teach us the most. You see, I was visiting my next-door neighbour, Eileen. She and I were simply trying to have a cup of coffee, and her 5-year-old son, Donovan, was there as well. And Donovan was dressed in his Superman costume, and he and I were in a very heated debate about why he couldn't wear his Superman costume to school. Anyone have a 5-year-old? You know exactly what I'm talking about. And he kept inserting himself into the conversation with Eileen and I, and he'd say, Neen, do you like to play outside or in? Outside. Neen, do you like cats or dogs? Cats, obviously. Neen, Obi-Wan or Yoda? Yoda. And then he said, Neen, you're not listening to me. I said, honey, I was listening. This was your question, and this was my answer. And then he jumped up and he grabbed my face and he turned it towards him, and with great passion and intensity that can only come from a superhero, he said the words I will never forget. He said, Neen, listen with your eyes. It took a 5-year-old to remind me we don't listen with our ears. We listen with our eyes. We listen with our heart and we listen with our soul. And what Donovan reminded me of is that truly paying attention is what really matters. And when you think about what truly paying attention is listening. That's a key component of it. But I think what happens is women business owners or women in corporate or women who are looking to change careers, we are constantly listening to the to-do list in our head. Does anyone wake up with a to-do list? Yeah. Is there anyone who would be willing to admit in public that they actually write things on a to-do list just so they can cross them off? Who does that? Who does that? What? Why do we do that? It makes us feel good. You're right. Because it makes us feel like something that we did today mattered. Would you agree? And we need to think about how we're paying attention. Because what's happening is we're often paying attention to the to-do list in our head. Often we're not listening to someone, we're just waiting to respond. Right? And so what I want you to consider as business owners, whether you have your own business now or you have a business that you're thinking of, or maybe you have aspirations one day of starting your own business, and I got to meet many of you today, and there are some phenomenal aspirations in this room. Being a woman-owned business is really tough, but it's also incredibly rewarding. But it requires your attention, your time, and your energy. And truly paying attention is ensuring that you're prioritizing things in the most impactful way. But I do think that there are some costs when we don't pay attention. Would you agree? Personally, we know what the costs are when you don't pay attention, correct? But in business, did you know that it costs $588 billion every year in the US because we're not paying attention? Not to mention the 9 people that die every day because of distracted driving. Is anyone else concerned about that? Apparently, we've made it more important to update our status on Facebook than we have to paying attention to the road. According to a Discount study last year, how many times do you think on average we touch our cell phone? Anyone have a guess? On a day, how many times do we touch a cell phone? 200, what else have you got? 1,000. According to Discount study last year, the average user touches their cell phone 2,617 times a day. The extreme users amongst us are like, oh no, I touch it more than that. Did anyone go, yeah, no, I'm like more than that. Okay, my extreme users touch their cell phone 5,400 times a day. Where's your attention? You see, when it comes to attention, I think what we need to think about is that there are so many people who compete for our attention. There are so many things that compete for our attention. And the reality is that you can actually think about your attention in a completely different way. You see, through my research, I've discovered there are 2 types of attention. There is what I call conscious attention and unconscious attention. And would you agree, many of us are paying attention unconsciously? And there's a reason this is so important to me. Because for the first few years of my life, I was without attention. I know what it's like to crave attention. You see, for the first 2 years of my life, I was in a full body cast. I was in a body cast from here to here, and in steel braces. And I was suspended above a hospital bed, and nobody was allowed to touch me. The nurses explained to my mum it was best not to touch me because I'd get so upset not understanding why I couldn't be held. So scared and so invisible. But my mum tells the story of the day that I was cut from my body cast. And the first thing I did was wrap my arms around her and I gave her a cuddle. And then I gave everyone in the room a hug. And I've been hugging ever since, and I never stop. And I will never miss the opportunity for a hug. Because when you think about it, a hug is just listening with your body. Have you noticed? You can't hug someone and check your cell phone at the same time. Conscious attention is what I ask of you as a business owner. It's what I ask of you as a leader in your community. It's what I ask of you at home. Conscious attention is truly paying attention to what matters, but what matters? If I was to ask you what matters, what would you say? Family. Family. If that's true, why is it that family get the leftovers? You see, we walk into our houses like this. We've made technology more important than people. If family matters, do they know? If your clients matter, do they know? If your team matters, do they know? Because where you direct your attention makes a massive difference, and it's about conscious attention. Sometimes that means putting devices away, and today I encourage you, engage with the beautiful men and women that are in front of you. Look people in the eye and have a great conversation. Conscious attention is not only important personally, but it's vital in business, because if you want attention to pay, the only way to do it is to ensure that it is conscious attention. Walt Disney knew this. Anyone visited a Disney park? What do you notice about the Disney parks, besides the price tag and people eating a turkey leg the size of their head? I've never seen anything like that in my life. That's amazing to me. Some of you have eaten that turkey leg. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But what do you notice about the parks at Disney? They're clean. Walt Disney, it was so important to him that he measured out. He didn't want anyone to walk more than 20 steps before they found a trash can. The park is designed that way. Walt Disney, it was so important to him that people focus on having a good time, and he didn't want to disrupt the experience, that he created a revolutionary underground trash removal system. You know, you never see anyone emptying the trash in Disney. He's so conscious of the experience that he's creating for his guests. What are you paying attention to in your business? What are the things you're doing for your clients to ensure they can focus on the service you provide, the products that you offer, the experience you create for them? What are you doing to create an experience for your clients, your team, your patients, your members, so that they know you're truly paying attention to them, just like Disney does? You see, conscious attention was so important to him that not only does he train his cast members in an amazing philosophy. Have you noticed you never see someone out of character? Right? He wants to make sure every guest experience is exceptional. Not only that, there are people at Disney who are taught sign language so they can then communicate with people who are deaf. Now that is listening with your eyes. All of these things are important, but I believe it comes down to one thing. I believe it is intention. It is intentional attention that makes attention valuable. It's intention that makes attention valuable. Okay, seriously, that's tweetable. Seriously, someone should tweet that out. But think about it. It's intentional. It's conscious attention, not unconscious attention. And I think what's happening is many of us are moving through our lives in our day and the busyness of our day, and we're distracted and we're overwhelmed. Would you agree that many of you in the room feel overwhelmed, overstressed, and overtired? Welcome to being a woman. The reality of the lifestyle that we've chosen for so many of us is some of you might have corporate business and then you're building a business on the side. Some of you might have left corporate or a paid opportunity to start your own. And I've met so many amazing people, including the lovely owner of a bakery who is 2 months into having her own practice. How about a round of applause for that? That's huge. Congratulations. And I asked her, how is it? And she said, it's overwhelming, but it's good. Anyone else feel like that? When you think about your intention, I want you to consider that intention is what makes attention valuable, but where are you investing it? See, the clients that I work with, I have some phenomenal people I get to play with, Viacom, Paramount Pictures, Comcast, Abbott Pharmaceuticals, but they all know that it is intentional attention that is the true currency. That's what you have to invest in. What are you doing with your attention today? Who deserves your attention today? I'm going to ask you to turn and share with someone beside you. What is your most important person today? What is your most important person? Share that with someone beside you. Who is your most important person today? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention? Okay, back to me. Did you notice when you talk to someone that their eyes lit up? Did you notice that? Did you see the energy in the room shift when people get to talk about their most important person? I want that for you when you talk about your business. I want that for you when you talk about the projects you're working on, the volunteer activity you're doing, the charities you support. I think sometimes what happens as women business owners is we forget the privilege that it is. To make choices about your own schedule, about the clients you serve, that's a privilege. That's not a right. It's an amazing opportunity that we have to be women business owners. But let me be very, very clear. Being a women-owned business is not a disadvantage. It's a massive advantage. You have such a unique way of seeing the world, of serving clients. You have a perspective that others do not. Use that. Leverage the brilliance that is you. Don't try and do what everyone else is doing. Do you as a woman business owner. And if you are within a business where they're paying you a salary, do the best you in that business until you decide what you want to do next. It's fascinating to me that as I asked each of you very similar questions, very, very quickly I said, and what do you do? What astounded me is how many of you paused. Get good at answering that. Because in this business, you have moments to make an impression. You have moments to grab someone's attention, bring them in, and allow them to have a conversation with you. Don't waste the moments. We get 1,440 minutes in a day. How are you investing yours? Don't steal minutes from each other. Make the most of every moment. So today, when someone says, who are you and what do you do? I want you to have a great answer for that. I want you to be able to look people in the eye and proudly tell them what it is you do, or what you aspire to do, or what you dream of doing, or what you'd like to do next. And I want to see their eyes light up just like they did when you asked about the most important person. You see, I believe that conscious attention is what gets results. Conscious attention is what's vital in business today. But I also know that truly when it comes to focusing your attention and managing your attention, I think the key is focusing in fixed amount of time. Have you noticed no one has an hour anymore? Stop having hour meetings. Stupid. Waste of time. Because we all only get 1,440 minutes in a day. Stop stealing minutes from people and start giving them their time back. We need to get more efficient when it comes to the way that we ask for people's attention. Do you know what I think it is? Let's do this instead. Let's have 15-minute meetings. Right? You see, 15 minutes is the key to productivity. One of my clients that I work with, Comcast, I challenged one of my executive leadership teams to invest 15 minutes of their attention every day in a strategic appointment with themselves. I asked each of them to identify their top 3 not negotiable activities. So, before their head hits the pillow tonight, what's their 3? And as leaders, I encourage you to do the same thing. Could you have a strategic appointment with yourself every day? Could you set up at the beginning of the day and understand what's your top 3 not negotiable activities? What are activities that will move your business forward? Who are the people who need your attention? Because when it comes to your attention, I look at it in 3 ways. And this is what's part of the research for my new book called Attention. I believe personally it's who we pay attention to. I think professionally it's what we pay attention to. And globally, I believe it's how we pay attention in the world. Who needs your attention? What needs your attention? And how are you going to show up every day as a leader in your community, your church, your temple, your mosque, your business place? How are you showing up? And what was great about working with Comcast and this leadership team, they told me as a result of investing that 15-minute appointment every day, they became the highest performing team in their area. Their results were awesome, but they told me not only did they achieve their results, but they invested in their team development as well. It gave them a strategy to get out of the busyness of the everyday and pay attention to what matters. I think 15 minutes is the key to productivity. It's the key to attention management. You see, I don't believe in time management. You need to know that about me. Time management doesn't work. Time management. Has anyone ever been to a time management training program? Anyone? Yeah, I'm embarrassed to tell you, I've taught them. I know. Don't judge me. But ladies, some of you are old enough, like me, to remember. Does anyone remember life before email? Anyone remember life before email? I know some of you are too young, please forgive me, but there was a time. There really was. Like, Chelsea, I know you won't understand that, but honey, there was a time before email, right? Does anyone remember? Okay. Memos. Do you remember memos? Yeah. Carbon memos. Does anyone remember carbon? Like one copy to the client, one copy to the file. Okay. That's how old I am. Okay. Does anyone remember the first cell phone? What was the first cell phone? A bird phone! Yes! Oh my gosh. I remember I was in banking at the time, and I remember our insurance agent, her name was Amanda. Amanda got the very first bag phone I'd ever seen, and she would strut her stuff, thinking she was all that with her bag phone. But then did you notice that cell phones got smaller and smaller and smaller? Did you notice that? Right? And now, the bigger and bigger. Now we have iPads on our faces. Crazy. Technology has changed the pace at which we work, and it has changed our attention management. It's not about time management, it's about attention management. And true leaders know that where you direct your attention is what's going to give you the results, and I believe 15 minutes is the key. But let me ask you this. What is one thing you could do? Would only take you 15 minutes, but it would get you closer to the achievement of your goals. I want to ask you to share that with someone beside you. What is one thing you could do? It'll only take you 15 minutes, but it'll get you closer to your goals. Take a moment to share that with someone now. Just 15 minutes. Okay, ladies, may I have your attention, please? Okay, back to me. Okay. What did you decide? Can you just yell out for me? What were some things you thought you could do that'll only take you 15 minutes, but they'll get you closer to your goals? Yes, you could register your business, absolutely. What else? Write a business plan, I love it. What else? Social media, absolutely. Here's the key to my social media. I do a social media drive-by. Oh, yeah. So I make my coffee in the morning, and while I'm sipping my coffee, I buzz past LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. I like, I retweet, I reshare, I comment, I post, and then I'm done. 15 minutes is the key to social media management. Now, you may need to do that several times a day, but it's much better than doing it all day. Do you agree? And as a business owner, social media is not going away. Do not be deluded that you think it's just like a fad. It's actually happening, right? And business is done on social media. I believe in this concept of 15 minutes so much that I had a client who worked with me, and he wanted to build a bigger brand, but he didn't believe in social media. So I said to him, here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to invest 15 minutes every day on LinkedIn, the most professional of all the social media channels. And by the way, ladies, that is the most professional social media platform, and it is your personal website. Please make an action that if you haven't updated your social media for LinkedIn lately, that is on your to-do list after today. Is that okay? And I don't want to see one of those stupid headshots with half of you cut off from the other person. Like, no. Be a grown-up. Get a headshot. There are photographers. Who's my photographers in the room that can do headshots? There are people in this room who can help you out. Right, nice, thank you. Let's make sure that that is the best representation of you because it's the best place to send people. Okay, so you're all going to have fabulous LinkedIn profiles, right? Nice. But my client, he was like, I don't believe you. I said, look, I know what I'm doing. So trust me on this. 15 minutes every day. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to recommend others, connect with people. I want you to start a community where you share things of value. He didn't believe me. but he did it. Do you know he now has one of the largest, most successful groups on LinkedIn? Not only that, he has got speaking engagements, a book deal, and new clients from just 15 minutes a day. What could you do in just 15 minutes a day? There is someone that Laura and I both know, and one January I was talking to her, and she had said to me for the longest time, I'm going to write a book, I want to write a book, I want to write a book. How many people have thought, I want to write a book? Just write the book. In my frustration, I said to our friend, just write the book. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to write for 15 minutes every day. And if you miss a day, you better write double up the next day. Now, she clearly thought I was crazy. Crazy town up here. Anyone with me? Crazy town. But she agreed. And on the 18th of December, that very same year, she opened her first carton of books with her name on the front. Do not underestimate the power of 15 minutes as a business growth strategy. In 15 minutes, you can make a connection with someone here at this event. You can have a real connection with someone, a real conversation. In 15 minutes, you can reach out to someone and tell them how much of an impact they've had on you. In 15 minutes, you can mentor someone and help pull them along with you. I once heard at the PA Governors Conference many, many years ago, Madeleine Albright was the speaker, and she said something I will never forget. She said, there is a special place in hell for women who do not help each other. As a woman, sorry if you don't like the word help. That's what she said, not my word, just saying. But there is a responsibility as a woman that we help other women. Throughout my whole corporate career, it was my job to not only pull people up on the ladder, it was to set them free and make them go above me. There is no glass ceiling. That's just stupid. That's just a stupid thing. It's a belief that we have. We have 15 minutes to mentor other women. Imagine if you could just connect and help someone else grow. You could share the brilliance that is yours. Now, let me be very clear. When I moved from Sydney, Australia to Doylestown, Pennsylvania, I mean, seriously. Like where I live, it's like perfect suburbia. It's like 2.4 children to every house. There's like a truck and a minivan in the drive. And people even mow their lawn a certain way. Gentlemen, there's like stripes in their lawn. Marty, have you ever seen that? They like mow their lawn that way. Never seen that before. I lived in an apartment, remember, in Sydney. But I love it. But when I moved here from Sydney, I had no money, I had no clients, and I had no money to buy shoes. So what's a girl to do? Well, this is what I did. I Googled Women's Business Network plus Doylestown. I'd been here, Laura, I think maybe 2 weeks when we first met. And I found a little writer's room in Doylestown, and I attended my very first Women's Business Forum event. Does anyone remember that group? Yeah. Soon to have their goodbye dinner, I heard today. Sad. You know, I was nearly an hour early. If you know where I live in Doylestown, it's like a 2-minute drive. I was so anxious to be on time. And I sat in a circle with all these amazing women who told me what they do and how they help the community and what they do. And some of those people are here today, and it's an absolute treat and an honor to stand before you and see you. Because as women, it only takes 15 minutes to tell someone that they're important, that they're special, that they can do it, that you've got their back. Don't we all just want someone to believe in us? And that's what you need. You need to find advocates in this room, and your school mentor can be one of those advocates for you. Because your school mentor is going to be someone who can give you advice, objective advice, based on their business and their experience. But that's what we need to do for each other. And believe me, I had no money to do anything. So I realized, you have time or money, would you agree? Not a lot of people have both. But when you're starting your practice, you have all the time in the world, just no money. So I thought, what could I do? So I decided that there were certain things I needed. And so I asked certain people whether they would consider bartering their time for brilliance. So I said, I will help train your team. I will help make you more productive if you will help me with this service. So I bartered my time for theirs. If you're just starting out, is there a skill, a talent you have where you could help someone else achieve their goals while you can't maybe afford to pay for them? Is that an option for you? Now I have maybe not as much time as I have, but I definitely have more money. That's a good thing about business. Just so you know, I love money. I'm happy to love money, okay? Don't judge me, because here's my thought. The more money you have, the more you can give away. I don't care if you don't like money. That's not true. But if you don't like money, give it away. Somebody will take it happily. But I am very clear about the sales targets for my team and myself every single month. You see, we have a whiteboard in my office that says sold, banked, and delivered. What did I sell? What did I bank? What did I deliver? Are you tracking your numbers? It only takes you 15 minutes every month to set up a sales goal, to set up a client. Here's the clients I would like to work with. Ladies, we have to take responsibility for the numbers. Don't just go, I don't do numbers. I don't do math. I don't do math very well either. But that's why you pay people to help you. You have time or money when you're starting out. Sometimes you have more time than you have money. Get clever and creative about how you can get what you need using the brilliance that you have. But I ask you that if you are going to tap into someone's brilliance, can I ask you to stop saying something? Here's what happens. People say, Georgianne, there's so much I'd love to learn from you. May I take you to lunch and pick your brains? Stop it. Stop saying that. That is the ugliest phrase in our language. I'm from Sydney. In Sydney, Australia, our zoo, the Sydney Zoo, is on the side of a hill and it looks at the Sydney Opera House. They have the best view. The gorillas actually have the best view of Sydney. The gorillas, if you know our beautiful family of gorillas, they have a daily ritual. And what is it? They go and sit out there and then they pick at each other. When you ask me, can you pick my brain? Let me be very clear what I'm thinking of you in that moment. Stop it. Let me give you an alternative phrase. Georgianne, may I have 15 minutes of your time to tap into your brilliance? I mean, seriously, right? Wouldn't you rather someone tap into your brilliance? Isn't Georgianne going to say, yes, I would love to give you 15 minutes. Stop asking for an hour, nobody has it. Let me give you my favorite kind of meeting. My favorite kind of meeting is called a tally coffee. You make a coffee and I make a coffee and we talk on the tally phone. Takes no more than... I do tally cocktails on a Friday. They're my favorite. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to grow your business, start having 15-minute tally coffees. After today, I challenge you to follow up and have 15-minute tally coffees with people you met today. Don't just collect business cards and let them sit on your desk. That's not paying attention. It's not honoring the person you met today. Follow up. Did you know that less than 1% of you in this room will follow up from today's event? Please prove me wrong. Schedule a 15-minute appointment with yourself just to follow up from the amazing connections you made. 15 minutes is the key to attention management, and it is also the key to growing your business. 15 minutes as a connection point every day. A 15-minute social media drive-by. A 15-minute business planning was one of the things you said. 15 minutes to set your sales goals for the month. 15 minutes is the key to everything. My whole life is in 15-minute increments. That's how I run my life. That's how my team runs my life. I am supported by an amazing woman called Maria. If you have been with me in any audience, you know that Maria is the queen of Neen. Maria is the ruler of my entire universe. I could never do what I do without my Maria. Maria absolutely worships Vicky. So when Dave and Vicky said, would you consider serving SCORE? I said, absolutely. Maria said, I think this is a really cool thing to do. We don't all have the luxury of a Maria, although there are virtual assistants in the room. Who are my virtual assistants? Yep. Honey, just you. Okay, we have a virtual assistant in the room. I think virtual assistants are brilliant for business owners because you're just charged for the time that you use. So someone can help you get things done so you can focus on the things that you're really good at. When you think about 15 minutes, it's the key to everything. If you want to get healthy, 15 minutes of exercise. I would rather you spend 15 minutes of exercise than 0 minutes of exercise. You want to eat better? 15 minutes of meal planning at the end of every week. You want to get out the door faster? 15 minutes of planning your outfits on Sunday. You want to grow your social media profile? 15 minutes every day. Do you see the trend here? Can I ask you to commit to 15 minutes of your attention in a strategic appointment with yourself from today onwards? Identify your top 3 not negotiable activities so that before you go to bed, you know that your day mattered, that you did something that truly mattered. Because it is intention that makes attention valuable. Can you see that? And as leaders, we have days where it's tough. Believe me, when I first started my company here, I was literally networking my off. If there was something, I attended it. I belonged to the chamber. I belonged to the Women's Business Forum. I belonged to all of these amazing networks, and I was out there every day building relationships because I believe that women support other women. And when we're at these networking events, don't ever look at someone's name tag and go, don't think you can help me. And look for someone else. Have you ever seen that happen? Don't be that person. Have you ever seen someone read your name tag where you're from and they're like, you can't help me. And so they go and look for someone more interesting to talk to? Stop that. Because it's maybe not the woman who's in front of you. It might be the 200 women she knows that can help you. Ladies, we have such powerful networks. We need to share them with each other. We need to help extend the reach, especially here. We are so privileged to live in this part of the country. We are so privileged to have choices around what we do on a daily basis. But let's make sure other people get the benefit of that as well. You see, as a professional speaker, this is what I do. I get paid to talk. I mean, seriously, that's a job. I didn't even know that was like a real job in my corporate days. But really what has happened and helped me grow my business has been speaker recommendations by other speakers. Which sounds crazy, right? Because you would think they're competitors. But some of my most fun opportunities have come because another speaker has recommended me. Who are you building your network with? Who can refer you? Who can be an advocate for you? Who can help you grow your business? As women, we need to confidently ask for what it is that we want. And I challenge you to confidently today introduce yourself and your business and let the women know what you're looking for. Are you looking for a new job? Are you looking for a new client? Are you looking for a connection? Are you looking for an introduction? Are you looking to speak at an event? What do you want today? Because when you know what you want and you can declare that to someone, it actually helps them as well. Get clear on how you serve the world. Get clear on what is uniquely yours, because when you do that, you show up as the best version of yourself. So based on everything that I have shared with you, who has the first question for me about things we've been talking about today? This would be the interactive part. Do you see that? Honey, what's your question? Just tell me what your name is and your question. You need to yell it out, though. So let me see if I can hear you correctly, because it's a little hard up here. But you are starting out, you'd like a mentor or a consultant, but you don't have the money to be able to pay for that service. Is that what you're saying? You could do a little bit, right? So one of the benefits of being involved with SCORE is that they provide this amazing mentoring and coaching, right? So was it Margaret? Was that your name? If you can help Margaret, can you go and find her today? Is that okay? In this room. If you can help her, there you go. Business card. Round of applause. Thank you, sir. Awesome. Other questions? Yeah.
I love your 15-minute idea. Love it. I've been reading a book actually about the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
But what I want to ask you is this. I'm coaching mothers, busy working
Right.
moms, right? How would that work with a 15-minute call more days than maybe an hour once a week?
Mm-hmm.
Have you had experience with that?
Yes. So this is how my 15-minute appointments go. And I run an executive mentoring program. So I work with executives of the big companies around here, so I totally understand what you mean. They're not like managing a family, but some of their team members are like babies. So, didn't mean to say that out loud. But what I've learned is you go into the call with an agenda. So the first thing I say to the people that I'm coaching or mentoring is, what's on your agenda for our call today? Number one, always get the agenda. And then I say, what else? Because there's two agendas in every meeting. There's a declared agenda and a hidden agenda. I know in America we don't call it that, but I'm Australian and call it whatever I want. Another way to say it is the undeclared agenda, right? So I say, what else? So then they'll actually hopefully get to the point of why they want to talk, right? So firstly set the agenda and then talk to those particular points. At the 12-minute mark, I then say, so the actions you're going to take are what? Right? So that's when you agree on the action plan, right? So you get them from an accountability point of view, what is it that they're going to do as a result of your call? At the 14-minute mark, I say, we are scheduled for our next call on the 21st of June. Is that correct? You have that in your calendar? Fantastic. If there's anything I can do to help you in between, please let me know. You've got to choose the model for yourself. But when you show people you can use 15 minutes wisely, they will give you more time. My whole practice has been built on 15-minute business development appointments. And I can call the head of major organizations and say, I know you don't have an hour, but if you will give me 15 minutes, I will show you why I would be a great speaker for your annual retreat. Let's declare our agenda, ladies. Don't just go, I'd just like to get to know you. Stop it. Stop it. Be very clear about what you want. So when you're working with people who are very busy, in my case they're executives, in your case they're mums, right? Same. The challenge is the hour, and I find that clients are more likely to cancel if they think it's an hour, but they will fit you in for 15 minutes. If I believe this in my core, ladies. I'm just not making this up. I see evidence of it with every client I work with. Now, what I do in my schedule is sometimes I'll book a 25-minute, even though we're only taking 15, because I have a bladder and needs. But my Maria, she will literally schedule me like every 25 minutes in my calendar. And that's an efficient use of my day. Great question. Is this helpful? Yeah, question.
My name's Karen, and I can say I think so. I do a lot of networking events, but my issue always is like telling people what I want from them. Like I always feel like I should be asking people, well, what can I do for you?
Yes.
So it's hard to like say, well, do you have any connections here?
Sure. And Sue raises a really great point. If you didn't hear, she was saying when you meet someone, how do you ask, what you want, when we really want to ask, well, how do I help you and be nice and women and all that kind of thing. As women, we want to build relationships first. I believe you have to earn the right to ask for something. And I think what happens is that we are so often trying to help everyone else, which is very important, that we leave our own needs on the back burner and then we don't get what we want. So when I meet someone, I would say something like, tell me more about what you do. And then I ask questions like, if I'm listening to a conversation, how do I know I need to refer them to you? Give me that language. Help me understand more about what you do. And then I might say, does your firm ever hire speakers for their events? Yes or no? If they do, I'd say I'd love to be considered for that. That's it. If we've built that relationship and that connection. But if I haven't, I just move along. I think what happens is I've watched networking events where people walk in and they shove their business card in your face. Have you ever seen those? Don't be that person. Because you know where your business card's going? In my trash. Please earn the right. But let's just start a conversation. When you meet someone today, start the conversation, start the connection, make the commitment to follow up for 15 minutes after today's event for a tally coffee. You got it. My lifestyle makes it very challenging for the choices I've made to meet people face to face. I'll be really honest with you. When people say, can I buy you lunch? I say, I don't do lunch. Do you do lunch? With my girlfriends, maybe. Can we do coffee? I would love that. I just haven't created a lifestyle for that. But what I do is video calls. So I love Zoom technology. I use Crowdcast. You can use Skype. You can use FaceTime. The reason I like video is people can't check their email while they're on the phone to you. So I'm more inclined to do a video than a face-to-face. Now, for some of you, you have the opportunity to meet face-to-face. I'm not saying I'm against that. I just haven't chosen a lifestyle that allows that right now. Because most of my time is airports, convention centers, and hotels. So glamorous. But I love what I do. It just means I stand in front of hundreds and thousands of people as my choice. My commute is by plane, just not in a car. Some people drive to an office every day. I fly. It's the same. It's just it doesn't always afford me the luxury of coffee meetings and lunch dates. But I can video you from anywhere in the world on any different time zone. So if people can't meet you face-to-face, could you do video instead? But if you want to make a face-to-face, please make it worth their while. Please show up on time. Please finish on time. And if you invite someone to coffee, you pick up the check. One last question.
I love your comment about asking people about listening in on the conversation. I pride myself on trying to get people to others who can help them. What is your most successful follow-up in introducing people to each other?
Really great question. Thank you for asking it. So what I would do is if you and I meet, so Ellie. If Ellie and I meet and I want Ellie to meet Vicky, I would set up an email and I'd say, Ellie, it was such a delight to meet you at the SCORE event. Vicky, one of the chairs of the event, is fantastic. She owns a brilliant company called Harmony Clean, and they've been cleaning for me for over 10 years now, I think. Organic products, I love them. My cat loves them as well. And so I would set up an email that says, Vicky, I'd like you to meet Ellie. Ellie, I'd like you to meet Vicky. I will leave the two of you to connect directly, and then I'm out. So very quickly, ladies, you can connect each other after today, because maybe it's not you that can help them, but maybe one of your 200 women that you know can. Is this all making sense? Do you have things from today you can apply immediately? Has today been valuable for you so far? You are in for such a treat today. They have lined up so many amazing resources. My friend Laura is going to serve you. You're going to hear from some amazing facilitators today. Ladies, there's two types of attention. They are conscious attention and unconscious attention. And intention is what makes attention valuable. And I believe that the key is doing things in 15 minutes. If you would like to get more information on the conversation around attention, you simply type in your cell phone the number 44222. 44222. And in the message, you simply put the word attention. And it will send you a white paper, which is a little sneak peek into my book that comes out later this year. It has been an absolute privilege and an honor to serve you. Thank you so much for your attention.